Hello, everyone. Welcome to Divine Soul Awakening. I'm Martine Felton, and we are a group of psychics and spiritual mediums who have come together to raise the awareness and vibration of everyone to align with their higher selves and their purpose. So, we have our usual divine team here. We have Yele, Khan, Doc, and Christy. Rachel isn't here with us today, but we sent her many, many blessings and well wishes. So today we are talking about the upper chakras and how our psychic senses, aka the clairs, how those are associated with the upper chakras. So would anybody like to add anything before we begin?
Go ahead, Yele.
No, I think we're ready to dive into the upper chakras.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we are just missing Rachel today.
Yeah.
She's going to join us next week or the week after. She's taking a little bit of personal time, and she'll be back with us shortly.
So, yeah, we'll start with the throat chakra. So the throat chakra is located right here in your throat area. And the color that's associated usually is blue. And the throat chakra is known to really support communication, verbal expression, truthfulness, and like setting boundaries. So when your throat chakra is in balance, you are effectively communicating. You are expressing yourself the way that you want to express yourself in truth. And, your communication is really, really on point. So the throat chakra regulates like the thyroid, like in the throat, the jaw, the shoulders, the upper lungs, the neck, and the ears. And it's also associated with one of the psychic senses, clairaudience, because the ear, nose, and throat are connected. So if you're clairaudient, then that means that, the throat chakra is supporting that psychic sense. Are any one of us here clairaudient?
I get sometimes when I'm, of course, I think channeling, I will hear there too. And during meditation, sometimes it comes and goes.
Okay.
Well, for me, sometimes I'm hearing songs started playing in my head, so it's kind of beginning. Of
Yeah, me
clairaudience.
too. And sometimes I hear a voice that sounds strangely like my own, but it's like me talking to me, but softer and so nice and kind of angelic sounding. So I know I'm like, that's not me, that's someone else.
For me, I've had it once during meditation. I was sitting there, and this was early on, and I was trying to open up my eyes for some reason, and I heard in a female voice very clearly in my right ear said, "Stop." He said, "Don't do that," and it just shook me to my core, and I was so freaked out by it. I was like, "Okay, I'm sorry," and then that was it, right? And that was the one and only time that I really healed a very clear, definitive, that is not my voice, and that is clearly audient.
Yeah.
Yesterday I had it's that made me think when you said that, Con. I was on my way to the restroom, and I heard it was a woman's voice, and it said, "You're going to have to let me," and then it stopped. And I'm like, "Let you what?" And all day I'm like, "Let you what?" Like it never finished.
Awesome.
What about you, Doc?
I've had to be honest, my awakening and most of my journey has been associated with clairaudience. I could tell you loads of things, but basically, what I've noticed is that the voice changes in position depending on what it is. But it was my higher self who first talked to me, and in a nutshell, I thought I was choking to death, and I wasn't. So the voice said, "Don't worry, just breathe, you'll be fine." And it was the most calming, peaceful voice that you could imagine. Very matter of fact, nothing fancy about it, but it just felt true, and that's the arbiter that I have. It's that voice that I trust.
So then we have the third eye, which is the sixth chakra. And that's located in between your brows. And the color that's associated with that is like an indigo. They say indigo, but it looks like a light purple to me. And it's associated with wisdom, discernment, spirit, like spiritual sight, seeing things, being, knowledge, and trusting in a higher power. So it really supports your intuition development and your imagination. Like when your third eye is open, some people say, yeah, my third eye is open, but I don't even really think they really know what that really means when they say that. It's just it means that you're seeing things for what they really and truly are. It's not always, oh, I can see spirit, but you're seeing certain situations, certain people, what have you, for the truth and and you're seeing through like the shadow aspect of it.
Awesome.
So yeah. Oh, you wanted to read a comment?
Yeah, it's from Grace S. I also hear voices in meditation. It sounds exactly like my own voice, but the words are so new to me. Awesome.
Yeah, I've heard voices in meditation too, but it would just be like random things. I felt like I was tapping into some sort of collective consciousness, and I was just hearing just like random sentences, random things, nothing that made any bit of sense to me at the time.
That's how it begins, right?
Yeah, you're right. That's how it begins. The third eye is also regulates the pituitary gland, the eyes, nose, sinuses, head, and the face. So as far as the clairs are concerned, the third eye is associated with clairvoyance, clear vision. So it supports your vision, your seeing, your psychic seeing in that sense.
So I've always thought the location was actually the pineal gland, which is embedded like right in the center of the head within the brain. And the pineal gland, that's where the activation is. That has there's actually, it will release certain crystals that will put you into almost like mimics DMT and give you into a hallucinage state. So when you actually activate that, it actually comes through the front, but it also comes through the back. So enters in through the back at the base of the skull. It really is in the center, right in the middle of the brain, and it emanates out from the center. So I always thought it was in the center of the head. I think
it's here. You're right in everything that you said is right. It's here and in the back. Like when I do Reiki, myself Reiki, and I work on my third eye, I put my hand here and in the back of my head, because the pineal gland is in the center. But when in explaining it to people as to where it's located, you usually say in between your eyebrows, because it's here going in through your head and in the back. So the energy centers is in the front and also in the back.
I see. So it continues right through.
Yes, it continues right through. So when you feel, I felt sensations. When you feel sensations, when I was doing Reiki on myself a couple of days ago, I felt third eye sensations, and it was like a vibration, a pulsing right here in the front. but there is also an energy center for it in the back, and it goes through the back of your head as well.
Yeah, I have that all the time. Like my head's always buzzing, right in the back and in the front. Like everything's just buzzing all the time. So it's just.
Yeah, and it supports clairvoyance, which my clairvoyance isn't that strong yet. It hasn't really been developed as strongly as I would like it to be. Is anyone here on the panel have strong clairvoyance going on with their third eye?
Well, not really that strong, but I can really see the visuals when I'm like doing readings or stuff. I see things in my mind's eye. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's pretty strong. Yeah.
Yeah. So is that clairvoyance or is that considered claircognizance? It's very confusing, right?
Clair knowing.
Claircognizance is the clear knowing, which is associated with the next chakra that we're going to talk about, which is the crown chakra.
So even though we see it in our mind's eye, that still is clairvoyant. Even though we're not really seeing a physical being in front of us, but we're seeing it in our mind's eye, it's still considered clairvoyant.
Yeah. There are like a lot of degrees of clairvoyance. For me, I'm a dreamer. I dream a lot, and so I will tend to have a lot of prophetic dreams instead of actually seeing anything when I'm meditating or when I'm in stillness. My clairvoyance comes through in my dreams. Other people, it's different. It manifests for different mediums, different people in different ways, their clairvoyance.
Yeah, I've had different like colors and also shapes, Metatrons, cube, that type of thing.
Yes.
And just like it's like it feels like lights, but it's like colors, different colors, bright whites and different colors. And also faces sometimes. Or just an eye. Lots of times, I don't know about you guys, but I'll just see lots of eyes, and I'm just like, what is all these eyes?
That's happened to me too. Like faces coming at me. Well,
and it's like almost like they're just like appearing and it's like different stuff. It's like they're all like this. So I think it's where maybe I'm guessing where it's developing. Yeah. And so we're just kind of picking up bits and pieces of everything here and there. That's what I do, it seems like.
Now, is that happening in your meditation? You're seeing eyes?
Yeah, in meditation, yeah.
Yeah. Same here. I used to see a lot of eyes, but now it's starting to form into faces, and I'm seeing more faces now. And quite amazing.
Sometimes it's a full-blown 3D looking face, but it's just for a second and then it'll disappear. It's not very, I can't hold on to it, seems like.
Yeah. How about you, Doc? Because you have different visions. Like your clairs are definitely developed in a different way, and the messages and things that you see and that you say is quite profound. Yeah. Do you see?
Well, yes and no. I do, like yourselves, see faces and eyes and this sort of thing. But I also see patterns, and I also see light language. It's like dripping down in front of me. But probably the most profound thing I've seen was an eye, a really big eye, and in my intuition at the time, it looked like it was reptilian. So I said, "Why is it I'm only seeing your eye?" And he said, "Well," the voice said, "Well, because the rest of me will scare you. You're not ready yet for this."
Wow.
And so depending on the nuance that I get, I sort of apply different approaches. And there was a time when, I'm sure you've all heard this thing and you've used it, where if there's something that you're not comfortable with, you tell it to go to the light, or you send it love, or send it to the light. I now have got to a point where if it's an image that I'm not comfortable with, I just send it love. And this is after Master Yeshua mentioned it to me, and that's more powerful because you're showing compassion for perhaps lower vibrational entities that are coming to look at you. But like yourselves, you get this sort of toing and froing of imagery, and I welcome them all, but I don't have any fear, which is where I've moved on from what I used to be like before. But in the channels, I tend to be clairaudient and also claircognizant. I do get pressure here, like I'm sure you all have as well, but it's not as clear as as other people's visions are.
It's interesting that you bring up fear. That seems to be very common about people who are just starting to awaken and just starting to do their meditation, get their visions, that it's always fearful of what people are seeing. You guys seen that?
Yes. I tend, when I first started meditating and started seeing things, I was very, very fearful, and I stopped meditating for a while because then I had a dream that I was like in a little capsule, like a little pod, and I was like bumping around in space, and I kept looking out the window, like all afraid, and looking out the window, and then I would see a being out the window, and then I'd hover back in. Yes, and this really happened, and then I kept looking out the window of that pod, and I was like, oh my god, there it is, and then there was a voice that said, you are supported, it's okay, you can look. And then from then on, I'm like, okay, all right. That really calmed me down and got me back into and kind of like took away a little bit of my fear away.
I find being in a state of love,
yeah,
and knowing that nothing can harm me because my vibrations are just so high, and I'm just pure love, that I welcome it all. Now, that's something that I've developed into to have that practice and feeling. But at the start, it was very questionable. What am I seeing? You start analyzing, you start looking at things.
yes.
But now it's like, because I know I am love. I know I'm this being that nothing negative or low vibration can penetrate, but I will uplift them. That allows me to accept these visions and whatever I'm seeing more clearly, and just observe them. So now I'm just able to observe them without being fearful, like as if I'm watching TV. So I think that was something big when we first started meditating, the getting away from the fear. And I like what you said, Doc, about giving it love.
Yeah, I needed reassurance. I needed somebody to tell me that it's okay.
We got to give you a hug. Come on, Yelly. Let's give her a hug here. Have a good day. There we go. A little hug for Martine.
I think we were up to the crown. Did we get into the crown chakra yet? No. Yeah. So the crown chakra, that's the crown chakra is up here at the top of your head, and it's associated with the color violet, and it regulates. Well, the information that I got, where I got my information, it says the crown chakra regulates the pineal gland too, as well as the third eye chakra, the skull and the brain, which makes sense. And it's associated with oneness with all, divinity, self-realization, understanding, enlightenment, and all that good stuff. And when your crown chakra is balanced, your intuition is heightened, your imagination is heightened, you're like in alignment, and your understanding of yourself and others is really, really, really high. And when it's not in balance, it's the opposite of those things. You're not in alignment. You're kind of in your shadow aspect of yourself, and there you don't have an understanding of things, and especially you're not in oneness. You're not in love, in the state in that love consciousness. You're kind of separate. So has anyone had any experiences with their crown chakra opening up and things of that nature?
I did. I was it's a long story, but basically my wife was on an extended trip to an ashram, and she was experiencing stuff thousands of miles away, and unbeknownst to me, she had said something like, I wish that I could experience it. So I was sat in my office in a very busy open plan office, and suddenly I felt this tingling on the top of my head, my crown, and then I literally felt like it was just doing this, opening up. And it was the most remarkable feeling. And now I'm totally used to it. But at the time, I was thinking, oh my goodness, what's this? Am I having an epileptic fit? Is it the patina? Is it what, or is there a tumor up there I've missed or something like that? Or tumor inside that I've missed? Anyway, so it was, I was overthinking what was going on from my understanding of anatomy and physiology rather than this is something totally different. And as time went by, I got used to this, particularly when I sat and meditated. And then I could actually sense my higher self, the voice comes in on one side, and I know exactly where that is. But then I started to hear a different voice, which I latterly have understood to be source coming in through the crown. And when you see me when I channel, you might see me doing this sort of thing. I can actually feel the words forming through my crown chakra, and they literally just come straight out of me. I don't think about it; it just happens automatically. Yeah. And it's quite a profound feeling at the time when it happens. But I'm just, it's just part of me now, and I don't think anything else of it. But it's when it happens, it's pretty surreal. It really is surreal. The other thing you will all be familiar with, and the audience as well, is that when, for example, colleagues such as Yeli bring in source light from source, galactic central sun, our solar sun, I can always feel it directly in my crown chakra, hands down, and it just goes straight through me. But that's the other time I'm more aware of it. But yeah, it just ebbs and flows depending on the moment.
Beautiful. So we have a question from Grace S. I see images but can't tell if it's my imagination or something else. How can we get over our doubts or tell the difference?
I've always kind of known and trusted that when we see our visions, when we get those visions, if it's fear-based and very scary, that's your ego, that's your analytical mind at play. But if it's just something that's very surreal, you don't quite understand it, or it's very positive and loving, that is from your higher self, from your soul, and that is your true self that you're channeling in. At least that's the way I've kind of heard it and interpreted it myself. I'm distinguishing between the ego and my higher self. And any time that there's kind of fear, I usually says the body just trying to adjust to what it's seeing. So it's giving you those images because it just doesn't know how to deal with it. But you just sustain through it and give it love. And this will train the body to accept it. Like, talk to the body. It's okay. It's okay. You are safe. There's nothing wrong with you. You're perfectly safe. Just watch and just observe. At least that's the way I've kind of seen it. Anyone else?
Yeah, I noticed it's sorry, Doc. It's a like images, especially they feel random. Like we have our own perspective that's developed already, and somebody says something and we're pretty predictable in our own minds what we're going to think for an image or whatever. And a lot of times if you have something coming in from spirit, it's different than what your analytical mind would picture or imagine. And so it feels random. And that's another way you can tell that it's not just you thinking of something, because it's something, it's like, oh, it's kind of like, I wouldn't have thought of that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So
absolutely,
that's another way to tell.
Yeah, I use the method that Khan uses a lot. If I feel like, if I feel scared, if there's fear attached to it, then I know that it's my ego and it's not, it's not from the divine or anything like that. So it's based upon, like, I feel like it's based upon like how you're feeling, your emotions. And that's like the gauge to let you know if it's you or if it's, from the divine.
Now, would you guys say that would apply to dreams as well? Whether you have a nightmare or a dream?
Well, for me personally, I only have like weird really weird, strange dreams, really useless ones. So, like defending a Christmas tree with the wrong tennis shoes on or something like that. It's really pointless, and I have no idea why I'm getting those. So,
They're not useless. They're not useless.
well,
There's
it's
a
hard,
message
to
in
make
there
a story out of it
somewhere.
to make it useful.
That's great.
Hope this helps.
That is so funny.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, Yellow, you made my day. Oh my God.
I have the weirdest dreams too, and I sit there and I try to think of what is the takeaway? What was I supposed to learn from that? And sometimes it's just I'm like, you know what? Nothing. I wasn't supposed to learn anything from that dream.
Yeah, exactly.
I do that too, Yelly. I have these weird, like, I call them commercial. They're the ones I remember because I wake up and I know I have been having this very detailed, drawn out dream about something, and I'll try to remember it, and I can't hold on to it at all.
Mm-hmm.
But these little commercial dreams, it's little crazy stuff like that. I'm like, what was that all about? It's just like has nothing to do with anything. It doesn't relate to anything you've had to do all day or that you've seen any images of, and it's just in there. It's like, where does this come from?
Yeah, exactly.
What do you mean, like a commercial, like as in like as seen on TV, the sham wow? And
Yeah, it's just like little short blips of just a little. I haven't had any for a while to give you an example, but when I do next time, I'll be like, okay, I had a commercial dream.
my wife used to have something similar. She would always be cast inside a television show. It's not like we're watching a lot of sitcoms, but she'd be like on the cast of Seinfeld in some sort of wacky episode. Or, it's like, what am I doing here?
So with getting back to the crown chakra, the clair that's associated with it is what you mentioned before, claircognizance, that clear knowing. Clear knowing is really just when you know things, you come to know certain things, and you don't really know how you came to know it. It's like the information just dropped in your head like a download. And that is associated with the crown chakra. When your crown is, I know for me, a lot of times when my crown gets stimulated and I feel the tingling sensation and it's opening up, I do tend to get new ideas, or just if I was thinking about something or someone and I couldn't figure it out, and then I'll just get the answer. Like sometimes when I'm trying to figure out my dreams and I'll just leave it alone and come back to it, then I'll get information hours later about it. And I noticed that my crown was tingling prior, and all of a sudden I got the answer. So it's just like a knowing, kind of, a psychic sense. You just know.
I think claircognizance is the strongest for everyone, isn't it?
For me,
or most people, it's considered the strongest out of all the clairs.
For me, it's claircognizant and clairsentient, which we didn't speak about, but we can, but it's not associated with the upper chakras. Clairsentience is associated with the solar plexus. That gut feeling, when you get that gut feeling, or just that clear sensing of things. It's that instinct. Sometimes you can get shivers, full body shivers. That's all coming from your solar plexus.
Beautiful.
I missed that show. Did you guys talk about the solar plexus, right? That's the one that I missed.
Yeah. We talked about that. And those two are definitely my strongest as well. Clairsentient, like a deep knowing. Much like all the stuff that's happening in the world right now. Like I just have a deep knowing that everything's gonna be fine. We're okay. We're on the right side of things. It's that deep knowing, and the messages come in quite clear that way, claircognizantly.
Yeah, same for me. Also claircognizance and clairsentience. We have a question from June Murphy about the clairaudience. How do you know whether it is your own thought or a message? I find my mind is cluttered and hard to hear it. Well, clairaudience, it really feels like externally from you, right? And if it's like a thought, that's more like claircognizance in thought
Yeah,
form.
clairaudience is clear hearing. So if you
Yeah.
hear things, you can get that message. But I know if you have an analysis, so if you start analyzing it, well, if I do this, I do that, and you start kind of running around in circles, that's typically going to be your mind or your ego interpreting. But if it's just that you're hearing something and you can kind of hear the words forming, so you really got to quiet your mind and just go blank. I find a lot of times that if my mind starts racing, it's like I'm trying to reach for the answer. So someone asks me a question, is what's about so-and-so? And I'm trying to feel for it. And I can feel my head straining a bit. Then I know, oh, I'm reaching for it. And then as soon as I kind of realize that, I'll just calm down, I quiet my mind, and then I just wait. And that's the big trick, is just to stop and wait and listen and wait to hear something, or wait to have that clairaudience that comes in, or that just knowing that you have come in, either or between the two.
That's very interesting.
I find that there's
a good technique. That's a good technique to know when you're straining, or you're really trying to get that answer. Just pull back a little bit.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I find that my clairaudient voice is different in location and tone, the thing that I've noted is that if I'm not sure, I ask my higher self, "What is this?" and inevitably I get a response, or a yes or a no. But it's just learning how to discern between the two. So I know my ego voice is on this side, and I can very, very clearly hear it. Whereas the clairaudient voices are usually sort of somewhere out to the left, and they just literally just click in, and I don't even know where they come from. It's just that spontaneous. But that's just me, and everyone's different.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and Jim Murphy is saying also when using a pendulum or asking yes/no questions, I can change the answer. Yeah, that's always work in progress. I mean, just trust the first thing you get. Trust.
Well, that's also a prime example of what I was saying as well. Is that when you start putting the answer out there? So if you think that you know, or you're kind of jaded. Let's say you have a very strong belief system, and someone says, this religion is the best, and for you don't. They might believe that, but someone else might not. So if you have a strong belief, and you are it's almost that you're able to will that piece. So this is where clearing your mind and just zoning out and just let it happen. That goes back to the same thing. It's just zoning out on that and let it happen.
Yeah, so the upper chakras, just to recap, are the throat, third eye, and the crown. And they're really, if you take a look at what they're associated with and their strengths and what they support you in, I feel like the upper chakras are really the feminine, the divine feminine chakras, whereas the lower chakras are the masculine type chakras, where it's like the doing and type of energy. And then you have the heart in the middle, which is kind of like that bridge between the feminine and the masculine chakras. I don't know if anybody else looks at it that way, but that's kind of the way I look at it. Because women, the divine feminine energy really has a strong intuition, discernment, compassion. And so that the heart is like the bridge and the balance kind of between, us balancing our feminine and our masculine energies. How does anyone else feel about that? Does
I love how you said that. It's really cool.
Makes a lot of sense. Absolutely.
Yeah. I never really thought of it that way, but I haven't put a lot of attention into it. So I guess when you hear having a balance, that also means that your chakras are in balance as well.
Right. Yes, exactly. Because balancing your masculine and your feminine energies, requires you to balance your chakras as well, because they're the energy centers in our bodies, literally in our bodies.
Doing a lot of people have their root chakra, like their base chakras are usually, a lot of people, like, it's out of whack. That's
Yes.
where like a lot of the problems have. That's where like a lot of sickness has. I know my root
Mhm.
chakra and my lower chakras are just completely out of whack.
Yes. But and also you could balance your chakra one day and it could be out of whack the next week or next month. It's like a constant, it's a constant thing of keeping them in balance. It's constant practice. Whatever it is that you do to keep them in balance, it has to be consistent to maintain, balance within your chakras. I learned a lot about that in Reiki, my studying Reiki and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's a good point to bring up, Martine. Me too. Learned that in Reiki, but
Mhm.
I had thought initially when I was fresh into everything that
Mhm.
that once you got your chakras balanced, they just were balanced. Yeah.
I don't think so.
No, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I was new,
Yeah.
I thought, and then I knew I could tell they weren't, and I'm like, what happened? What's wrong? But it's just life. It's the life issues. Our 3D world happens, and we have to balance it. It's a constant thing, really. It is. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, that was I thought, before I knew better, I thought once you got your chakras balanced, they were balanced. So, but yeah, that's a very good point to make.
Yes, it is important for everyone to know that. So, does anyone else have anything to add about chakras or upper chakras or
Well, I
clair?
just want to say about like a tune up for your chakras, like binaural beats, also a good one to. I've seen these tune ups for your chakras balancing. Is that a good way?
Yes, that is actually a good way. One of the ways that I learned how to balance chakras is very simple. I feel like people try to make it difficult. Is like when you're in meditation, all you have to do is, and I wish I had, that chakra thing.
The chart. I can put it
The
up.
chart. Yeah.
Yeah, I can put it up.
I'm sorry, but I'm
No
glad
worries.
you have one. When you're in meditation and you want to balance your chakras, or at least attempt to, you just start at the root and imagine the color. As long as you're imagining that associated color, like red is for root, orange is for sacral, yellow, solar plexus, and so forth. And you're imagining that color and you're holding that vision, right? And you're holding that vision for as long as you can. What you do is just imagine it going in a circle clockwise, and that is balancing your chakras. And then you move to the next one and imagine it going in a clockwise motion, and then you move to the next one until you've done all of the seven main chakras.
I've never done it with color, but I have done it with just putting my mind on it.
Yeah, just
feeling
putting
it.
your mind on it. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
I've
for
also-
me, it works for me to imagine the color.
Right. Yeah, the colors never associated with me. So I guess it really is, as long as you're putting your mind onto it, whether you're using a color or whether you're just using your intention or whether you're using a symbol, that is giving it energy.
Right. That's exactly right. You're putting your mind on it, and it's giving it energy, and then it turns in that clockwise.
That's come up through when I do the heart coherence, the global uniting unconsciousness of love on the 1 Billion Strong channel. There are times when I'm guided to go through each chakra and just sit in the root chakra and feel it expand and let it overflow. And once it overflows, it then reaches the sacral chakra, and then the sacral chakra grows, and then that overflows and reaches the solar plexus. And then from the solar chakra, it goes to the heart, to the throat, to the third eye, and then to the crown. And then there's a point where it puts all of them in unison and just synchronizes them all and just holds all of them with your intention, which I found is just been guided to do that at times.
Right.
Now, I wonder if that's just because you think that we needed it at that point, and that's why we're guided it to do it.
Yeah, I would imagine so. Yeah, if you're guided to do it, I think that's just, yeah, you need it at that moment.
You guys ever replace your chakras?
I've never done that.
Yeah, I've set the intention to. So I don't know if it happened. I just trust that it happened if it needed to be. So but I set that intention, to
How do you do
replace
that?
whatever needs to be replaced. And I believe Christy said you can also. She also says more like to repair instead of replace. I believe we had this talked about this in the past.
Yeah.
So yeah, whatever is needed. But I think the intentions are very important.
I've used crystals especially on my upper chakras in the beginning when I thought, when I was hell bent on opening up my psychic senses. I've used crystals for the crown chakra. Each chakra has crystals that really help support that chakra. For the crown chakra, I know that I have one here, like selenite is good for the crown chakra, like clear quartz is good. Then for the third eye, a good one is amethyst, something like that. And for the throat, something like this, like sodalite, something blue. Or lapis lazuli, which I don't have in front of me, but that's a common one for the throat chakra. What do you have there, Christy?
Lapis lazuli.
Yes.
Lapis lazuli. Beautiful. So Tina I put up Tina's comment. She says, make an affirming statement. All my chakras open, cleanse, balance, and align now. Then snap your fingers. I like that.
Good. Yeah. That's very much in line with I guess the progression of where we're all going, is that we are willing, we're commanding. So when you go into the silence, you're in the void, and then you will it. It's like, I command this, I will this to make changes. That's great.
Yeah, you call that in, you call that energy in. Yes,
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I know. I've put it out, and this was through Christy as well, Kristen Davies, and I've kind of put it out to just my angels and said, anytime my chakras need to be replaced or repaired, do it at your will. I don't. So there's no interaction for me. They know that you need to do it. Just do it for me while I'm asleep. And that was the thing, while I'm asleep.
That's a good deal.
I don't know if it's happening, but I feel my chakras do feel quite open, and my Tai Chi teacher, which can clearly see through me, he's given me a lot of positivity about it. And now I feel like there's times when I almost have felt, I did a meditation not too long ago, and as I put my mind initially, before I did the meditation, I put my mind on the chakras and I kind of activated a bit. And it felt like it was clear soup, but it had like big balls in it, like kind of, I don't know, like a matzo ball soup or a wonton soup, or it's like a clear broth. And that's how my chakra felt. And there's just big chunks of something in there. And then after the meditation, they were just clear. That was the feeling anyways, whether it's right or not, but you got to, this is all about trusting your gut and going with your feeling. That's what all this is about, right?
Absolutely.
Yes, it is. It is. Yeah, so that's all I have on chakras, guys.
Let's see. Is there anything else in chat? Yeah, so Tina also replaced her chakras.
Nice. Yeah. How many of you guys replaced your chakras?
Sorry?
Has anyone replaced their chakras? I know, Yele, you've done it, but anyone
Yeah,
else?
and like you, I also set that intention that they can replace it or redecorate it, whatever they want to do whenever is needed. Yeah, it's just an easy affirmation, and you give them permission, with your free will. So that's important. And, just trust that it happens. I never woke up like, what the hell happened? So that's good.
What the hell?
Yeah, what the hell, man? What's going on? Hi, Alyssa. Welcome.
Hey, Alyssa.
Let's see. Shall we do some readings? Switch to the
Perfect.
readings?
Sure.
Sure.
All right. Let's see. So if somebody would like a reading, please let me know in chat.
I'd actually like one. I haven't had one in a bit. I'd
Yeah,
love to get
sure.
a reading. Hook me up. I need. Anybody?
Let's see.
I'm pulling out my cards now.
Which deck are you using, Martine?
Yeah, I need to grab mine.
I'm,
Yeah, sure.
I'm using this Angel Guide.
That is
Angel
my
Guide. Oh,
favorite
beautiful.
deck, Martine.
Is
it?
that
Yeah,
the
my
one?
first and favorite.
Sorry, is that the new one by Kyle Gray with the? Is that also with the new? Oh no, that was. Now I'm mixing
It's
two
by
up.
Kyle Gray.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was mixing it up with like Diane Scooper, the new one with the new archangels.
Oh, no.
That's a different one, but it's
Yeah,
a beautiful deck. That one as well.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, the artwork is amazing. I resonate with it so much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that one first came out about a year ago because that's at least that's when I got it. It was about a year ago.
Let's see, June. All right, let's all start off with a reading for June Murphy.
I got power and intention for you, Con.
Woohoo!
Power and intention. And that is so you, because you are like really stepping into your power and setting your intentions and doing what you are set out to do. Like you did that 30-day, 2 times a day at 12 midnight and at 12 noon. Remember you did that for, what was that, like 30 days?
Well, I did the channeling Eric for 36 days. That
Yes,
was my spirit guide, which ended up being the
I
actual
forgot
channeling
about
Eric.
that. Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
And now I'm doing the 12 noon and 12 midnight every day on my channel. And now I moved it over to 1 Billion Strong YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I did it twice a week.
Dedication.
Yes, he is so dedicated. And I feel
Absolutely.
like this really like describes you to a T. And like you're setting your intentions and really stepping into your power so nicely and like helping people and like raising the vibration for everyone around you.
So
Love
true.
that. That's
So
beautiful.
to be clear, are we starting for Khan then? So
Yeah.
Sorry.
so everyone
I'm
is not
sorry. He said he wanted
starting off for somebody different. So let's all start with Khan then.
Yeah. Let's start with Con.
So,
I'll take it. Thank you, Martine. That was beautiful.
You're very welcome.
Let's see if I can get a card for you, Con. Nothing's popped out yet, though.
I don't have my card decks here, so I'll just try to channel.
yeah, no
directly.
worries. Whatever you feel like, Doc. If you're just gonna, your channelings are amazing. So let me put up a comment by Alyssa Watling. Just a comment. I just released a name as a trigger word. I realized there is a particular individual that presents will, anxiety, and I take it on. That name in any context was a trigger word. That's a good realization. I'm glad
Wow.
you were realizing that and able to release it.
Love that.
Be aware of your triggers and release them. Message for all. Beautiful. Thank
Yeah.
you for sharing, Alyssa.
Con, I got inner child.
Mm.
And it says, within each of us dwells an inner child, that part of us who remained small, innocent, and playful, while the rest of us grew up. That child is calling to you now to reconnect with the more childlike part of yourself, the one who believes in magic, who approaches life fearlessly, and who always has time to stop and play in a puddle or kick about the autumn leaves. This reconnection will enable you to approach life with a lighter heart and to have more fun.
Love that.
It's your inner child reaching out and say, play with me.
Come play. Come play.
As long as I'm not playing with anything else.
see.
Khan,
Duck?
The first thing that popped in my mind was a sort of an artistic rendering of the sun. So what's the message behind that? Your team would like you to go outside, absorb, experience, and the word that came in mind is relish, which is an unusual word for me. The presence.
Relish?
Yes, relish. Not as in the edible relish, but just enjoyment.
I did
Glad
have
you cleared it up.
Yeah. The
Have to smear myself with that one.
the presence of the sunlight on you. This will help with your activations. But as ever, be familiar or take particular note of grounding. Okay, I'll tell you something about this a bit later on. It is pertinent for all of us to absorb these activations. But the message is particularly at this time for you, Khan. I don't know why, but I get a sense that you're indoors a lot. And they want you to be out more. Expose your arms, your head to the sunlight when it's appropriate and you feel the weather's okay for you. That's that. So they asked me to relay to you what's been happening for me, and that I'm sort of grounding myself more with running water on my feet at the same time as exposing myself to more sunlight. Mm-hmm. But this is true of all of them, but especially the light workers at this time. Okay, that's what pops through.
That's beautiful.
That makes any sense.
Beautiful.
It does.
Makes any sense.
In the summertime, I spend a lot more time in the backyard, but I'm in this office space quite a bit around me as well, doing these lives or spending time in here preparing. So don't get to be outside as often, in a sense. And also with the physical disability, the movement, my range of where I'm going and where I can go has been limited, and that's getting better as the body is healing. But now that the winter, it's in Toronto here in Canada, it's starting to get a little bit cooler here. So we're not really spending as much time outside, because usually by about 6 o'clock, I'd go downstairs and we'd be outside for the rest of the time, and there'd be a lot of sunlight. But as the sun is starting to fade away now, get a little bit cooler, we're not spending as much time outside, which is very true. Very true. So I'm always on a grounding mat, and I take vitamin D drops to supplement, but it's not the same as being outside or being in the sun.
It's also the light coats, of course, coming in.
Yeah. And it doesn't help that I'm pasty white. I burn my butt off in the sun too, so it's.
Well, let's put it this way: it's a family. Enough of the anatomy, Khan. But the main thing is, you can always go and step by a window or something like that.
That's true. Well, I was about to go get some green and yellow relish and just smear it on me.
What you do with your relish is a matter. What you do with your relish is a matter of taste. But we're similar. We're in a similar latitude, and obviously, if it's too nippy outside, then or too cold outside, then obviously there are windows and so on. But that was just what pops through anyway. But thank you for listening. Okay.
Thanks, brother.
So the next one is for June Murphy. You can all do a reading for June
June, I pulled a card while they were talking for you, and I got strength. Strength card. And it says, you have a vast reservoir of inner strength within you. Cast aside your doubts and feelings of insecurity and trust that you have what it takes to be victorious in this situation. You may be feeling overwhelmed by the enormity of what is being asked of you, but you will surprise yourself if you just trust and proceed confidently. And an affirmation for you is, I am strong enough to handle any challenge that comes my way. I believe in my strength and power. I have what it takes to succeed. So it's saying you have that inner strength that maybe you have some doubts about something, and it's trying to affirm to you that you should seek that inner strength because it's there.
Beautiful. Who wants to go next? Doc?
Yeah, June, before anything happened, I had this music pop in my head, and it's a song, What Doesn't Kill You Make You Stronger. So they asked me to tell you to listen to that song, listen to the words. Okay. And likewise, I got a message saying you'll be able, whatever it is, you'll be able to overcome it. But listen to that song and check out the words. Okay, that's it.
Beautiful. Who is that song by? You know the singer, by the way?
Honestly, no. I'm sure my kids will.
Well, it's a quick Google. That's right.
Yeah.
Let's see. So next, Martine.
June, I got this card for you. It says intuition and downloads. And it's saying hearing pitch noises, seeing flickers of light, and having the sense that beings are visiting you in your sleep are all signs that you are receiving downloads from heaven. When you draw this card, your angels want you to know that the feelings you are having and the intuitive urges that you have been feeling are divinely inspired. If you feel that you've been having psychic insights into a particular situation and have been wondering if you can trust them, this card is reassuring you that they are indeed correct. This is a time when you are able to see, hear, and feel beyond the human senses. Your intuition is becoming stronger, and you are in touch with angels, guides, and other divine beings who are encouraging your growth and connection to the universe. So, yes, June, this is your message right here.
Beautiful. Khan?
You know, and I'm feeling a lot of head pressure right now. Like there's a lot of energy that's coming into my head. I know there's part of the ascension symptoms that's kind of happening here, but I do feel that there's a release that needs to be happening, much like everyone else had said as well, that you need to release and trust in it, but also to be doing some grounding as well to ground that energy. And if you're feeling a lot of energy in your head, breathe it down as you would with your intention and your breath like a vacuum, and bring it down into your lower chakras, and just and bring that out through the body and just separate that out. There's definitely a release that happens. So it's either going to be like a reorganization of the energy within your body, and also a releasing of emotions, trapped emotions, and whatever that might be. But you're going to be just fine, and you're awakening and you're doing the work. So keep doing what you're doing.
Beautiful. Let's see. The next one is for Tina. Tina, be still.
I guess I'll start for Tina.
Sure. Fire away.
Tina, you've been doing so much work lately. Like you're continuing just to release, and you're having some real shifts. I see you are well up your way up the mountain. You're doing all the things that you need to do. You're really moving along your path. the reminder to continue to honor yourself as you do this, which you have. So really, it's just a reminder to continue with that, because you're doing all the right things, and your journey is unfolding before you. Is there anything special she needs to know? I am here to get some more water and grounding in as well. I think it's kind of typical for everybody right now as we're going through a big wave of ascension. That's happening. There's a massive ascension wave going through right now. Was it supposed to last for like another day, at least the rest of the day. So there's a need to ground for everybody and to clear. Yeah, I hope that resonates.
Beautiful. Christy?
Tina, I got application. Try to get it where you can see it. And it says, you have been on a quest for greater understanding and knowledge for some time now. This card is an indication that the time has truly come to apply this acquired knowledge in a practical way to your real life. There will always be more to learn, but for now, focus on walking the walk. Demonstrate to yourself and those who love you what you have learned, and you'll see you've come even further than you've ever imagined was possible. And some self-affirmation is, the laws of universal love take root in my life. I now apply everything I have learned during my spiritual quest. The knowledge of the mind will be transformed into life knowledge. I radiate love at all times. Light transforms my heart and my thoughts.
Beautiful. Next, Martine.
For Tina, 2 cards came out. The first one is manifestation. And Tina, if you're working on manifesting something right now, if you've been working on something, this card indicates that it's coming into fruition. The thing is that you need to stay elevated in your, in your motions and in your thoughts. Keep your vibes high so that you can, meet that manifestation where it is, or it can meet you. But yeah, there's something coming in for you that you've been working on for quite some time. And the next card is take charge and action. So this card talks about not being afraid, and taking control of things, taking control of matters that are going on in your life right now. And it might have to do with what your manifestations. Don't be afraid to work towards what you want, to ask the divine for what it is that you want. So they're saying whatever it is that you're working on is coming into fruition, and to take charge and action in getting to those things.
Beautiful. And finally, Doug.
Tina, I know you've been out into open spaces, but the message I had is for you to continue doing that, especially paying attention to grounding and hydration. And it reminded me of Michael Forbes mentioned something about putting a few crystals of rock salt in your water. They said during these moments, whilst you're out there, you'll get intuitions and ideas about your next steps will form and provide you with more assurance of the way ahead. And they just said, by that they don't mean the way to get back to where your car is, but your actual work. I can see a huge flood of violet light now. It's all around you. And you know what this means in terms of the energy. Okay, they said use the violet flame. Bring it in. This will help you open up more during these moments of high energy downloads. We all should be doing this, but particularly for you, Tina, in this moment. So if you can, wear something with that color. You know, on the screen underneath our underneath our videos, you can see that sort of purple that's on the screen. It's something akin to that. Okay, so wear that if you can. Not just a little bit. That's all. Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Beautiful. The next one is for Grace S. I've added BG and El Sosa to the list. Let's see, for Grace S.
I've spoken with Grace a couple of times in the last little bit, and I know she's doing quite a bit of work right now. But the message I'm getting is I asked for something new, and the message really is just to trust what you're doing. What you're doing is working. What you're doing is correct, and just trust what you're doing. You know within you, and you know inside you. All the releasing, all the changes, all the work you're doing on yourself is you're right on the money. You're doing all the great things. So keep doing what you're doing and just trust yourself more. Believe in yourself, because you are all knowing and all powerful. I hope that resonates, Grace.
Beautiful. Martine?
Grace, I got the card Learning Experience. And I'm going to read from the book because I'm not really familiar with this card. You have dedicated a lot of your time, effort, and energy to understanding yourself in the world, and have had many experiences recently that have been great teachers. Even though not everything has been easy or perfect, there has been a positive in that you have come to understand about yourself. You are deeply connected to who you are, what you stand for, and what's important in life. When this card appears for you, angels are acknowledging the challenges and obstacles you have surmounted recently. Although it may have been a difficult time for you, your faith and inner strength have increased. Know that the cloud has a silver lining, and you will soon have moved beyond the feeling of being stuck or unsupported. So this has all, whatever that you've been going through, challenges have all been for you for a learning experience, Grace.
Beautiful. Doc?
Grace, the first thing that popped in my head was music. And what they'd like you to know is that whilst you are, I'm saying how to work, I don't know how that means. Obviously you know best. If you play music that you find attracted to, you'll gain insights and inspiration by listening to this, both to the notes and to the words, and these will provide you with reassurances as well as insights in terms of your path ahead. All will be well, and you know this, but be reassured that it is so. Thank you.
Beautiful. And then Christy?
Hi, Grace. I got transformation. It's a beautiful card.
Definitely.
Butterflies.
Yeah, and it shows like the transformation happening. It's awesome. And then it's what it's saying is that you are in the midst of a profound transformation. You're on a path of rapid growth and change. You have been for some time. The inner work you have completed is about to pay off. You have acquired so much knowledge and experience and are now ready to let go of an old aspect of yourself and rebirth into a new you. Do not be afraid. Embrace this transformation and rejoice in it. And your personal affirmation is, I welcome this personal transformation with open arms and an open heart.
Very cool.
Beautiful.
What I know of Grace, all that was all bang on.
Good.
Nice, guys.
Lovely, lovely. Let's see. The next one is for Wendy. Wendy van Wyk.
For Wendy, I'm getting a message of trust. That she needs to trust herself. Trust yourself, Wendy. You're going through some changes in what you're doing, and you're kind of second guessing yourself if a lot of it is true, what's happening with it. You trust yourself, and then you second guess yourself. You trust yourself, and you second guess yourself. And I'm getting the need to immerse yourself more into it. Really fall in line with it. Really just continue to trust yourself on what you're getting, because you definitely are on the right path. That's right for you, and that's in alignment with your higher self and your inner child. You're making inner child very happy doing the work that you're doing now. Outside of your regular job, this is really making you happy. So keep going. Trust yourself.
Beautiful. Christy.
I got, for Wendy, I got two cards that came out, and the first one is Joy. And this card is saying, even just a simple smile can go a long way to spreading joy in our world. Choose to focus more on those things that bring you joy, and you will find you naturally begin to radiate this energy out into the world. The more joy you send out, the more you'll find you have to be joyful for. This is a law of the universe. And your personal affirmation on that one is, by living with joy, I magically spread light into the hearts of my sisters and brothers of the universe. And the other card I got for you is Awareness. Practice living in a state of awareness where you are conscious of every thought and feeling that passes through you. Start to notice the energy of these thoughts and emotions and ask yourself if they are serving you, assisting you to live according to your true purpose and potential. If you find that they are not, make a conscious decision to change these thoughts and feelings in the very moment that you notice them to ones that are more positive and uplifting. Your affirmation is, I am conscious of each thought and feeling that I manifest. I am mindful of what I create in this universe. I am an expression of the divine light.
Beautiful. Martine?
The card I got for you, Wendy, is self-acceptance. And what I'm getting from this card is maybe most recently you might not be feeling most confident. You're being asked to really to accept yourself more, and that once you accept yourself more and accept what's going on, then you're able to like move through the situation, because if you resist, then it's just only going to persist. So self-accept, you're being asked to really be more confident and raise your self-esteem more, and really just accept yourself. And I'm getting heart chakra and solar plexus from this card as well. Maybe those two chakras need to be worked on as well.
Beautiful. And Doc?
I saw Master Yeshua come through, and he was surrounded by green light, and so the green light has something for you. You need to use it during your meditations and your visualizations. I can't remember which chakra that relates to, but I think it's the heart or something of that nature. The word he asked me to convey to you is, he wants to remind you, is that of love and all of the facets of it that you as a light worker need to consciously or actively pursue. Obviously that includes self-love first and foremost, compassion, gratitude, and all the other aspects of it which you need to use. And these will help you traverse these times and provide you with more tools than you can imagine, especially when that which is around you appears to be darker than you feel comfortable. Always know you're safe. Always safe. But first of all, remember to practice self-love first, before all else. Thank you.
Beautiful. Right, let's see. Martine, if you want to do one for BG, put it up on screen. BG. And Doc, if you want to do one for Lisa Sosa. And Khan, if you want to do one for Amy Hitter. And Christy, if you want to do one for Marvik.
I have BG's card,
Yep.
which is compassion. You could see that. Can you guys see that?
Oh, I can make you solo layout. There you go.
Okay, thank you. All right, so it's compassion. The book says your angels are wrapping a light of compassion around you at this time and guiding you to let go of conflict or the need to prove your point. The more you resist and fight, the unhappier and more drained you will be. Pointing out mistakes or mishaps or concentrating on negative traits or actions of others will only hold you back. Don't let the unjust actions of others block your experience of joy and freedom. Take time to review where in your life you may be feeling held back or even consumed by frustration and anger, and ask your angels to shine their light upon you and the situation.
Beautiful. Let's see. Then we have for El Sosa, Doc.
Yep. Was it just a general request, or was there anything specific?
Yeah,
I couldn't read the
I would
screen.
love a message from my guides, please.
Okay. So this is from your higher self, and the word they dropped in was children. I'm just going to ask them again. If you can observe and listen carefully to children, particularly young children, there'll be messages that are relevant to you that will come forth. What are the messages for? These are to remind you of how it is to be in a childlike state. And through this, and through listening to them, and I get the sense of youngest children, not sort of teenagers or anything, especially little ones, There's a lot to be learnt for you, especially at this time. This is not just the words, sorry, it's not just the love and the joy that they express, but in particular, listen carefully to their words. Especially, I get the sense of when they're laughing or when they're happy or when they're giggling and that sort of thing. Okay. That's it. Thank you. I don't know whether you've got children yourself or you can somehow interact with children, but that's the sense of what I got. Okay. I hope that helps. Thank you.
Beautiful. There's a message I'll put up from Grace S. So thank you for Doc from your previous reading. All right, and then we go to Khan for Amy Hitter's reading.
Yeah, Amy, the first thing I saw was I saw you needing some support right now. And I saw a woman's hand reaching across a table, setting on your hand. So it's almost like you need to surround yourself with just some supporting changes as you go through some family dynamic right now, to seek the support, since you don't really have the support internally inside your house, because you are the nucleus and you are the center of the home. That you have your soul tribe around you. Specifically, I get a sense that there's a particular woman, a female, that is that supports you and honors you and allows you to hold space for you as you vent, as you go through the changes that you need to go through. So I'm seeing a need to reach out to this person, because it's like you haven't spoken to them for a while, you haven't reached out, you haven't had a connection with them in a bit, but there's a need that you do need this person. And I get the sense it's just a close female friend, possibly even family, but definitely female, that listens to you and honors you. And you need that physical touch right now, because it's almost like in the sense that you're in a house full of men, that to get the affection, you need to get it another way, and you need that right now. You need some nurturing, you need some affection, and that is get it right now from this woman to help you. And this is just the nurturing that you need to get you through the next stage, because you need a little bit of empowerment right now. Essentially a hug. You need a hug. Don't give a hug.
Virtual hug.
Virtual hug from all of us.
Let's see. Beautiful. And then we go to Christy for Marvix, and Martine, if you want to do the last one for today, for Mary Ann Scott, please.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Marvik, I got releasing. And this card is saying, when we hold on to feelings of anger, hurt, jealousy, and resentment, we allow their negative energy to build up inside us, ensuring that the pain we experience at some point in the past continues to cause suffering in the present moment. This card signifies that it's time to release these feelings and be freed from the hurt you are essentially inflicting upon yourself by not letting go. And your personal affirmation is, I release all grudges, all judgment, all blame from the past. I express my feelings openly and honestly so that I can be free and regain my lightness of being. So this is something all of us has to go through, is release the past. We've been conditioned to stay in the past and stay in our mind and stay in our thoughts. And most of the time it's negative stuff that's up there. We don't really, for some reason, we're not drawn to a whole lot of the positive. The focus of our minds always tends to go to the negative past events. And what this card is saying, that you're spending too much time in this space and you need to release this past and look forward and let it go. Release it and let it go. Hope this resonates.
Beautiful. And the final one for Mary Ann Scott. Martine.
Hi, Marianne. I got holy love for you, and you are being surrounded by some serious loving energy from your angels and your guides. The angels who are with you now know that at times you can feel unloved and unappreciated, and this can block your experience of love and appreciation. The divine energy that is surrounding you at this time is there to help you melt away any blockages so that you can be open and receptive to the love and appreciation that you deserve. Your angel guide is encouraging you to view yourself in a loving way and to give yourself permission to be loved. If you have been holding back for a while but are now ready to share the love you have within, this card brings you that message that it is safe for you to do so, Marianne.
Beautiful. Yeah, and BG, I just put it up, but you were doing the reading. There was the previous one for you. She's saying thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, BG.
All right, so that concludes our reading and the end of our show. So I'll now hand it over to Martine for the closing words.
Yes, so thank you everyone for joining us today with our talk on the upper chakras and the clairs. And also, for next week, we will be discussing. We will be channeling messages, collective messages that we will be bringing to you all regarding like the collective and what's going on globally or what have you. And also, if you want to reach all of us or subscribe to our channels individually, all our information will be in the description box. So in order for you to do that, you can just go click down in the description and follow all of our channels. And that is it. Does anyone else have anything to add? If you have anything going on this week as far as content or anything, guys?
Come.
I'm packed as usual, so I'm doing a lot of emotional releasing for one-on-one on people. I'm kind of booked up right now. I'm going to be opening that up again soon. I'll be back at midnight, 12 midnight on the 1 Billion Strong channel and 12 noon to do the heart coherence and raising the global unconsciousness of love. That is something so needed right now that to help the planet and help everyone release their fear. So I really encourage everyone, whether you do it, come join me or do it on your own, 12 noon, 12 midnight, just love yourself and spread it out to the world. Just kind of raise the vibrations of everyone around the world. And let's see, I'll be back on Tuesday for another emotional release live. We're going to be working with Ursula this time. And this Friday is be channeling Eric. So channeling Eric, Archangel Eric, and I'll be answering all your questions and guidance and whatever you want from Eric and your guide. So that's what's going on with me. Geez, I really need a job, don't I?
That was really awesome. Go check that out.
You have a job now, Con.
That is my job now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Full time.
raising the globe.
Dedication.
Yeah, I just want to remind everyone of the crazy energies coming in. Keep yourself grounded. Drink lots of water. Very
Lots of water.
important. Especially if you feel sick. A lot of people get nauseous and stuff like that. Go to the grass or a tree, something like that. If you're feeling nauseous or sick, because that sometimes it will also give you those kind of feelings, headaches as well. So I just wanted to put that out there for you guys to just drink water and stay grounded.
Great advice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Doc?
It's just a sort of a not a request, but just a little memory jog. At some point in the future, I'd like to raise how we individually in the past have discussed spirituality with children. Nothing heavy or anything, just to sort of get a sense check as to how people have approached this at different times, if at all, in their recent experiences. I mean, more of that later, but it's particularly children of different ages, and I just want to understand more how other people handle this sort of area. That's for later. Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, for me personally, I'll be back next week. So I'll hand it over to Martine.
Okay, so I just have tarot readings, not just, but I have tarot readings on my channel that you can follow. Also, I'm going to be getting into some sound meditation and some Reiki healing. So look out for that. As long as you follow my YouTube channel, and hit that notification bell, you won't miss anything that I put out. So that concludes Divine Soul Awakening for this week. And thank you all for watching, and we will see you next week. Take care, everyone.
Take care, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Have a great day.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.